time today to think about different things, and there's another discussion that some people's been talking about on the truckersreport.com and some different trucking sites about becoming an owner-operator. Should I lease on with the company? Should I stay a company driver, or should I just get my own MC number and just my own trailer and go all out and own everything? There's a lot of different things you want to think about when becoming an owner-operator and owning your own truck and everything. You see ads that says, like, you know, owner-operators make $125,000 to $200 and some thousand a year, and that looks great on paper, but you know, you're going to take close to half of that in fuel, and then you have, you know, your wear and tear and your breakdowns and your taxes. You're going to be 1099 at the end of the year. So, but I mean, even from the first get-go of owning the truck, it's going to be, you know, you're going to have $500 for heavy highway tax that everybody has to pay. You're going to have $1,500 in tax, and you're going to have all kinds of different expenses. So that's something you want to think about. You want to write down everything on paper and outweigh the good and the bad. I would never lease a truck, ever. Leasing, all that does is make the company money. So never lease a truck. You either go owner-operator or stay a company driver. So another thing you have to take into consideration is what kind of truck you want. Kenworth, Peterbilt, International, Volvo, so on and so on. I would go, especially if you're just becoming an owner-operator, I would start in a Freightliner, International, a Volvo, something along the lines like that. Other owner-operators are going to get on me and say, why not a Peterbilt 379 or Kenworth W900? They're beautiful trucks. Don't get me wrong, they're the best looking trucks out here on the road. I love Kenworths and I love Peterbilts. The 379s and the W900s, hands down, probably the best made truck and best looking truck as far as I'm concerned. But you're going to come into situations where you're going to be in a tight spot, and that long hood on the Kenworth and the Peterbilt is going to cause you problems when you're backing in places when it's tight. Where a Volvo and International and things won't cause you as many problems. With that being said, then you got to come to the conclusion what kind of engine you want. Do you want the Volvo engine? Do you want the Detroit Cummins Cat? And once again, that depends on what you're doing, what you're pulling. The Cat is going to do, I mean, relatively speaking, a Cat is going to do the worst in fuel. Cummins is going to fall somewhere in between. And the Detroit's going to do your best on fuel, but more than likely will have your lowest power. So you got to decide, like I said, on what you're pulling. Are you going to haul steel? Well, I should say flatbed, but you're going to haul flatbed. You're going to haul a reefer, which is refrigerated. I mean, so you got to decide what you're hauling, and then that'll help out a lot too. I heard having your own MC and getting your own loads, I heard it's been really bad this year. So as far as that, I would probably not do that. But see, so there's so much to talk about on this discussion, because like I said before, if you own your own trailer and your own truck, of course you're going to make a lot more money, but you're going to have a lot more brake problems, you're going to have a lot more upkeep, the insurance, you're going to have bobtail insurance, you're going to have your own trailer insurance for your freight and everything, so it's going to be costly, but you're going to make more. Whereas if you're a owner-operator for a company, they're going to take care of that stuff, but you're going to still have to have your own insurance on your tractor. You're still going to be paying for fuel. Sorry, I got a cold. But you're still going to be paying for all that. So it really depends on what you want to do, and sometimes after it's all said and done, you're going to make as much as a company driver without the stress. So it's a lot to think about. I would definitely stay away, well, from that right there. Intermodal containers. I've had two of my own trucks and hauled containers twice and never had a bit of luck. I would stay away from containers. I have a friend that's did it for 10 years. He loves it. It's a love-hate thing. Like that guy right there hauling container. I despise them. You know, you take, I don't know why this guy's sitting in the left lane, just goofing off. These people nowadays, just, they don't know what the heck they're doing. So, but anyway, I'm going to get off topic. So I ain't got to talk about stupid drivers. I'd be here all day. So, where was I though? Oh, containers. Yeah, I would stay away from them. They don't pay good. Think of it this way. Say the company you're working for tells you to go get a chassis, which is just the bottom of it, you know, and then you get a box on top of it. So say it takes you roundabouts half an hour by the time you get in the yard, get checked in, the number they give you to find a chassis, and then they tell you, say, well, you got to go across town. So say another half an hour, there's an hour. By the time you go across town, you get the box. By the time you get checked in, get the box put on you, and all that. You're looking at another half an hour. So now you're at an hour, and then they say, hey, go to Lima or something. So now you're looking at 2 hours. Depending on where you're at, hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours, depending on how fast you're driving and where you're going. So say 2 hours, make the math easy, okay? You're at 4 hours now hauling a container, and you haven't made a dime yet. So then you go over there, say they got to live unload you. That could be 2 hours. So now you're at 6 hours out of your day, and you still haven't made any money. 2 hours back, now you're at your 8 hours. And then the stupid, you know, DOT and the people that want to make all the rules say you got to have a half an hour break. So now you're taking a half an hour break. So now you're at 8.5 hours and you haven't made a dime. So, I mean, not every day is going to be like that, but I would rather just go, hop in the truck, get my trailer, and get 4 hours down the road than mess around with all that. But them are the main questions you want to ask yourself, and get a piece of paper out and weigh the pros and cons of, you know, what route should I go. If you think owner-operator is better, then go that route. You know, owner-operator is nice because you own the truck, you decide when you want to drive and when you don't want to drive. But you also don't get insurance, you don't get sick days, you don't get all that either. So there's always good and bad with everything. And then, you know, if you're a company driver, you get them benefits, but you're not going to make as much, but you're also not going to have the stress. So I would say probably 85 to 90% of owner-operators the first time fail. And I'm not discouraging anybody from becoming an owner-operator, but it's very stressful. You got to have a lot of money put back because you never know when an engine, transmission, tire, anything's going to happen, fifth wheel. So yeah, so you definitely got to have a good nest egg put back if you're even going to consider being an owner-operator, because a lot of these guys out here are one breakdown away from being a company driver. It's very costly. But on the other end, the money can be very good too. So if anybody has any questions or they want to comment on here, I'll be more than glad to help as much as I can. And like I said, I just want people to know the basics, because, you know, there might be a job that says, oh, it pays $600,000, and that looks amazing to anybody. You're thinking in your head over $500,000. Well, you're going to have to figure a quarter of that is going to be fuel. Say you got 50,000 in breakdowns, you know, give or take. That's $300,000 right there. So now you're at $300,000. Okay, you're 1099, so then you got to do taxes on that. And so, and your insurance, your bobtail insurance, your all that good stuff. So like I said, you just really got to weigh out the pros and cons and decide what the best route is for you.